A lot of ways, life is similar to a game. You're here to upgrade your character, gain attributes and traits using your abilities, and your purpose or your goal is to ascend beyond your current form and upgrade to different levels. So if life is a game and your purpose here is to grow, then it would make sense that you would start to view your own character from that standpoint. And I think that's where we start to blend the technology and awareness into one thing, where I think you can actually start to look at your life as if you are technology itself, where your mind is a type of technology, where your body has these components to it which make up another type of technology, and where we're all seamlessly integrating into our own perceptual field of awareness and how that interacts with other things. When you start to recognize each and every component of yourself and how you're constructed, how the world is even constructed, and how it's all just narratives, thought forms, and light pulsating frequencies, prompting you to apply meaning to things on a moment-to-moment basis, you'll start to recognize that everything around you is a type of technology. With the increase in our use of technology, we have also begun to intuitively understand the natural functions of interfaces and how to use them. So if our minds and our bodies are these aspects of technology that connect together, then energy is this holographic blueprint map that's overseeing the entire configuration and determining the next place. I think that when you start to look at your reality from this standpoint, it actually makes you become more clear in your own personal sense of self, because it gives you that sense of mission and journey to your life once again. The truth is, there's so many shifting variables that are happening in the world, both internally and externally, that it's kind of impossible to grasp the entire picture of what's going on at all times. So we have to almost segment ourselves into these portions or compartments to process aspects of our life, one thing at a time. And then from those moments, we can recollect back together into our wholeness periodically, but it's almost become an impossible state of being to exist within all the time, because there's always brand new challenges and things you need to learn for the next mission. You know, if you're growing, you're always in that position where things are shifting around underneath you, and it's requiring of you to develop into a different thing. Each event requires different aspects of yourself that you didn't have before. Maybe you did, but they were half developed, and so now that they're more developed, you have that now as a package to rely upon. And so you take that and you go to the next journey or the next mission, and maybe that mission doesn't require that specific package, but it requires another one that you haven't quite developed, and so then you learn that. So much of life is going through this process of gathering all these dependencies of your own self, figuring out who you are from experience and trial and error. One of the fundamental qualities that we make up what we call a game is this idea of the character that's doing something there within the terrain or the landscape, and they're trying to achieve some goal or improve something, or to get to some end point, or attain some achievement or gain points to level up a status to the next mission in the game. The entire purpose is that the avatar is directly interlinked within the environment of the game, and their purpose is to improve throughout that map. When you look at your life clearly, you'll probably recognize that that's basically how life in reality already is. It's a game. Now, whether it was designed specifically to be a game in the way that we contextualize thinking about games, that's a whole other thing. But to all of us, we all understand the main system of a game and the function of games in general, and reality as it appears and our involvement within it seems to resemble qualities and characteristics of a game. See, now I'm a programmer. I understand the inner workings of how computers operate and how they function, and so I tend to look at life from the system of programmatic logic. And I'm also interested in bringing all of that together into a system that we can understand, learning from technology so that we can build ourselves from the mechanics of how it all works. Because at the root of our own personal self-experience and even the awakening journey in general, your awakening journey will probably start to feel pretty technological, and that's why I'm creating this resource for all of us to learn from. The truth is, when we start to speak about reality and ourself from the standpoint of technology, I have personally found that it makes my life make a lot more sense. Now, that could be because I'm a general technologist, so I understand a lot of aspects about computers and how they work. But also, when you really understand technology and even interact with technology in your day-to-day life, you will come to understand that the external workings of this world and all this technology and all these buttons and interfaces and windows are actually similar to your own personal internal experience. And I think that there's a way that we can blend this use of ideas into our own internal internal world and use these functions and knowledge of programming to put these mini programs into our awareness that we can install into our field of who we are to improve and optimize ourselves. The truth is, technology is pretty cool, and it's always getting better every single day. In fact, so many aspects of our life have been directly improved exponentially from the use of technology. Just using the internet has changed this generation in ways that it's hard to even quantify. Technology is only as good as those that are able to program it and maintain it. And even from the context of AI, there are certain limitations of even hardware that's required to scale beyond our own human comprehension. The truth is, if technology is going to be the thing that destroys us, it will be because we were already heading in that direction anyway, and therefore technology just increased the speed and rate at which it was going to happen. Now, I'm thinking specifically more about how we utilize intuitive interfaces and how we can build a similar interface for our internal world. Even in meditative states, your sense of self will collapse into these walls and open windows where you're accessing these different realms of consciousness, which feel like portals into another world. I truly believe that one of the most useful and underlooked qualities of technology is this idea of the interface. When we see a button on a screen, we intuitively know that we can click it, and that on-click of that button will translate a new web page or perform some function, which changes the data that's arranged also on that web page. There's communication happening between the client and the server, or the subconscious and conscious. There are all these aspects and learned abilities that we've now gained through interacting with computers that I think we take for granted. And all of these abilities and this knowledge in general can directly translate as well to building out your own operating system for how you function. What if you closed your eyes and did the exact same thing but with your thoughts? What if all those thoughts that you had that you didn't want to have any longer, you were able to grab and select them and throw them in the recycle bin and press delete? What if you could choose and select your feelings based upon your environment rather than the inverse, where your environment directs how you feel and operate? How about if you want to gather a specific type of awareness for a certain type of task? You can use your mind as a tool, as a configurator to program your own energy. You can make and rewrite patterns, and you can make templates for how you want to be. You can design your reality.